Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing one other topic that is city creation. City creation, basically, we are discussing one other topic that is India account. In India account, basically, we are talking about some topic that is SBI account, then Amazon account, and after 2 days, basically, in India, big earthquake basically is going to happen. So that topic, in this, basically, we are discussing one topic that is lava data. In this, basically, we are talking about lava data. So one person told that what actually lava is. That basically we have already discussed. One person basically told Sunil, basically you can basically basically the missile from satellite basically group. One of the person told that basically in Earth planet basically there are lots of defense group basically, like police department basically or defense department, armies are basically are there. Then basically Sunil and told yes, basically if you do complain to police basically they say that basically that is not our task. Basically I basically done complaint to police that I am not getting job. I basically applied for lots of time. They that is basically not our task. Our task is just to participate in war basically. So related to war basically we are talking now. So from satellite basically after this complaint done by Sunil Arnay to police, satellite group basically told one thing basically. Do you know basically the missile system, each and every missiles basically, whatever missile basically in this world basically they have, that is connected with the lava data. That was basically the shocking basically answer by the satellite group. Basically Sunil Laraya basically was shocked basically how this is possible. Lava basically is dumped inside the land basically, and how basically lava, sorry, missiles basically are controlled by lava data basically. That was shocking basically. That was really basically shocking. Lots of people say that is basically controlled by chips, and chips basically are controlled by computers. Sometimes basically mobiles, this, that, each and everything. But this was new basically from lava basically. That was strange basically. Then one of the satellite person told that whatever missiles basically which is getting dumped in, they are basically connected with satellites. Without their permission, not a single missile basically will fly. Fly means it will not blast to the target basically. If it has to blast without satellite permission basically, that is not possible. And satellite group basically, how they do that is basically through connection of lava. They basically don't connect with computer because they don't connect with a single object basically of the earth planet. They only connects with the lava data, and lava data basically are connected with that computer. So just imagine basically one of the satellite person told that basically we can change the entire direction of missile basically from satellite and with the help of the lava data basically. That was strange answer basically by the satellite group basically. That how that is possible here basically, and that direction basically how can be changed basically of the missiles basically. For example, in India basically assume that basically war started, so the Brahmostro missile basically, just a minute, I will just take the missile name basically, how many missile India basically have. BrahMos missile. So this BrahMos missile, here basically I'm just taking an example of one missile. Basically, there are basically lakhs of missile basically with India. So do you know basically, Cindy, whenever this BrahMos missile basically gets fired, assume that basically war started in India. India war basically started. India also basically started taking participating in war. Basically, Indian army, police department, each and every basic people basically started the war. Basically. In this, basically, one of the missile, BrahMos missile, basically that basically triggered to the target. Basically, target was basically some other country, but it blast to some other country. But the missile group told that basically we have done the entire programming basically. Source is this and target was that basically. But how that changed basically that I don't know. That basically satellite group told that basically we have done that basically with the help of that lava data. We have not touched your computer basically. So that was very strange basically. Yeah, basically how that is possible basically. Then they told that basically the lava basically which is getting dumped in the basically from satellite basically lots of process happens, and this is also one of the process basically. So war basically which happens in the world and basically that is also one of the process of child basically. That was strange here basically. That means in this world basically whatever war basically is ongoing currently, that is connected with the birth basically. That was strange basically. Yeah, basically. That is not strange basically. That is strange basically. So they told that basically we can change the entire direction of missile. That is the BrahMos missile. For example, India basically started the war. India started dumping France missile. Then France missile. Just a minute. I will just take which missile basically is that. Prahar. Prahar is also one of the missile basically. Dhanush. So these all are basically missile name. So one person basically told here basically how that is possible here basically. How that is possible? One missile basically, sorry, one war basically which is ongoing. That is how it's connected with the childbirth basically, which is the 100 crore child basically going to happen. That is not very strange basically. How that is a connection basically? And lava group basically from the satellite they are telling that basically we can change the entire direction of missile. For example, India is firing BrahMos missile in that side. It we can change to the opposite side also basically. Without touching the missile, without touching the chip, without touching the computer. From lava data. That was strange here basically. That is not strange basically. So he want to say that basically in this computer basically whatever basically things basically happens that are connected with the lava. That power supply basically is coming with the directly from the lava basically. but that basically takes time to connect the chain. Basically in between, the power companies are there, missile companies are there, then the nuclear companies are there. So one computer basically can't connect to the lava data. The reason, if he will try to connect, assume that basically some electronic engineer, basically master basically in electronic, he basically done some programming, and he connected to power company, then basically he tried to connect to nuclear power company, sorry, energy company, then he connected to nuclear power company, then after nuclear power company he tried to connect to the lava data. But that basically, at that time basically he was tracked, basically that he's trying to connect to the lava data. But here, satellite group basically, nobody can track the satellite group basically, and they basically change the missile direction basically without any modifications in the chip and in the computer programming. So that was not strange basically. This type of thing basically happens. So lava data is so powerful, you will not able to believe that. Here basically I had taken the example that Mumbai city basically ended my generation. In really basically they have not ended. I'm just taking as an example. Mumbai city ended my generation, and in this 100 crore basically my child which was going to heaven, that they have ended. Maharashtra, no? Mumbai basically. Just taking as an example. Really basically my generation I have not ended. Just taking as an example basically. So, and then basically anything is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen basically. Nothing is going to happen. Why? Lava basically is going to generate, and it's going to generate 100 crore child. But here the main thing is the missile basically which is getting launched from India, which is basically satellite group basically, they can change the entire direction with the help of the lava data. Is that basically lava data which is created? Sunilar Nair basically generation ended, that data is inside that lava. Anything basically is going to affect basically. Sunilar Nair generation and that user stories he basically is dumped inside the lava. So first of all, that basically user story that need to track, that is not possible with the help of user basically, that are the earth planet basically people, they can't, they basically can't track. Why? Because it is not possible basically. The story of user story of Sunilar Nair, that was Mumbai group basically ended generation of Sunilar Nair, that basically they can't track basically. Why? It is not possible basically to track them. It's impossible. It's not possible. So one of the person told that the lava department basically have one lava bank also, and they say that basically the groups basically who can touch the lava data, that data basically we have, but in this basically satellite group data basically that we don't have. Satellite data basically we don't have, and nobody will track this also. Why? Nobody will able to track that. Why? Because whatever direction the missile is going, that is going to that direction only. But if by chance basically missile direction basically changed, the India basically targeted to that country, but that by default by chance basically it went to some other country. Is it possible? Basically that is possible without touching computer and without touching any of the cheap weak basically, that is possible. Just from lava data basically you can change the entire direction of missile basically. How that is possible? Yeah, basically lava basically is dumped in Mumbai, and Brahmo whatever missile basically they are dumping from Odisha to some other country. Odisha kahan pe hai? Where is Odisha and where is Mumbai? So how that is possible? Yeah, basically that is very strange na basically. So few people say that basically city to city connection basically is possible. That basically we do how? Through mobile chain. When we, if we want to call to Odisha, then we can easily able to call. That is communication chain basically. That is already in the environment basically. But log file of communication chain basically, that nobody has tracked yet. If you will track that basically, then you will say that basically there are many groups basically, yeah, basically from satellite, many countries basically has accessed the communication chain of India basically. Here basically I'm not talking about the missile, and that also satellite basically. Here basically I'm talking about countries basically. So that basically is one thing. What they might be extracting, that basically is their problem basically. That is the problem of Indian army basically. So now basically the problem is the satellite group basically can change the direction of Brahmo missile or basically Dhanush missile basically. That direction basically can change from lava data which is dumped in Mumbai basically. But Dhanush basically gets fire from Odisha basically. Then how that possible? Yeah, basically see the direction, see the chaining basically. If you can call basically from Mumbai to Odisha, then basically this is the normal thing basically for lava department. That is, that also basically the human basically can do. Then satellite group basically has created the world basically. They can't do basically. Yes, basically he can do here without touching the direction basically. Sorry, without touching the communication chain basically from lava data. Basically. That is very strange, no, basically. So one person basically told how that is possible. Then the question basically was Mumbai and Odisha basically. Is there any gap between Mumbai and Odisha? Then the answer was there is no gap. But sometimes basically the tectonic plates gets separate, but that is very at the low range basically. That is very down basically. But here at the Earth planet basically separation basically never happens. Why? Because the railway tracks are there, the railway station basically are created, roads are created. If it will get separate, then you see basically what are the things basically going to happen. So in this world basically, there is no separation basically happens. So this basically comes to very easy basically. They can easily, the satellite group can easily able to access from Mumbai land lava data to Odisha data basically, where basically missile is basically at the standing position. It's not so easy basically, and they do that basically. They basically do that basically because there is no gap between Mumbai and Odisha. Is there any gap between Mumbai and Odisha? It's a straight land basically. Nothing has basically divided. Nothing break is there between Mumbai and Odisha. So that basically is possible. So like this basically, what are those activities basically which is ongoing basically? That is very dangerous thing basically. Just now basically I discussed. Because this is connecting to the army department, this is connecting to the missile department, this is connecting to the software department who basically are into the missile, this is connecting to the lava creation department because the lava is going to be used in this missile fire. So that was very strange basically, but practically basically anybody can see this practically basically. You can see that basically you can track basically, for example missile is getting fire, you can basically give the entire direction basically from where basically this missile was fired. Is that possible basically? Why that is not possible? Because human only creates the roadmap, and they know that basically this much roadmap is there. But other than there are many groups basically who are basically controlling them. For example, each and every computer in this world basically are connected with a satellite that they don't know basically. That the world basically don't know. Same way basically, each and every land area, each and every missiles, each and every direction of the missiles that are basically controlled by the satellite group. But they never do that basically. Why? Because they have never required that basically. They never got angry basically with Earth planet. That's why they never do to the Earth planet this. They never do that basically. Why? Because they don't want to do. That also you can say. But they have the control of each and every missiles with the help of that land data. That is the lava data. So here basically topic is connecting what basically. One rich person he got four child, two child and one two basically daughter, two boys and two girl basically. Boy basically told his energy basically was 18 city. That 18 city basically got some problem. Due to that, basically he got connected to some disease. That disease basically was not getting in, not getting repair. He tried lot. At last, basically, doctor told that basically if he will not repair this area, then it will connect to operation. So that was rich people basically. They done the maintenance. They basically finished that area and they again recreated. Why? Because they were rich people. Basically. So that is one chain basically. That is one chain of lava data basically. They repaired that area. Now basically we will come back to that lava data. 100 crore child is going to generate, right? They are going to give supply to certain level of data which is created by this 1 lakh companies. They say that basically we are going to generate this all human needs, and these all countries basically are going to add going to eat that human needs. According to that basically we are going to give to this give the power supply to them. So that is one side basically. Now rich people is one side, this data basically connected to one side. Now basically about that missile basically, which is connecting to this 100 crore child. Missile basically launch. Satellite group basically know that basically this is the missile basically which is going to dump, which is going to dump, which is going to dump. And missile basically are connected with the army group. Here in Vadodara basically it is connected to the EME department. They keeps on watching basically what the people basically are doing in computer basically. They keeps on watching basically. EME Fatehganj. They keeps on watching basically. And nothing basically is going to happen to them basically. Why? Because they are doing their duty basically by watching each and every computers what the people basically are doing. Fatehganj EME. And earthquake basically is not going to happen. Basically. If earthquake will happen, then basically who will be responsible? That is also a question. Eh? So one person told that here we connected to one chain basically. That is what? Childbirth chain basically. That is already created from that 1 lakh projects. Sorry, 1 lakh companies, 10 crore projects. That is one chain basically. Another chain is rich person. Two chain basically done. Third chain basically is Brahmo missile basically. Whenever basically it's going to launch, it connects from Mumbai land to Odisha land and then basically it gets fired. So one person told that how that basically is, you can say, so confidently. Then basically the answer is when basically first time basically the missile was launched, then that time you are supposed to track this basically, but you have not tracked. What basically satellites are connected with that lava data. Lava data is connected to that Orissa land. It might possible that Mumbai city basically also will be there, and basically some other land also might be connected. So the process happens so fast basically. Within 1 millisecond, basically it connects from satellite to Mumbai land to other land, and then basically to the Odisha land. So fast, just within 1 millisecond, basically this happens. Why? Because the land is not divided. If land will divide, then basically road will gets break, stadium gets break, then the pool will gets break. I don't know what are basically going to break. Basically. So break basically you can't do the break. So for that, satellite data basically directly passes to from land to Brahmo missile. Here basically I have taken the example of Brahmo missile. Dhanush missile is also there. They say that basically we can change the entire direction of the missile, but we don't do that basically. Why? Because we don't want to do. We basically don't want to enter into that. We don't want to do that basically. If we want to do basically, then we will finish the whole world basically just in 1 or 2 minutes basically. That is enough for us basically. But if you don't want to enter into this data basically which you are creating, that is your responsibility. So this 100 crore child basically which has going to happen in that basically Sunil Arnair basically generation ended, that is your problem basically. You look after this basically. If anything is going to affect to Sunil Arnair generation and in universe basically, then basically it will create problem. Basically. They will basically say this only basically. Then they basically started really basically checking. Really Sunil Arnair generation ended or not? Somebody has ended Sunil Arnair generation. But really basically my generation was not ended. I'm just taking as an example. So one of the person told that because we can't ignore any of the percentages. So they told that basically we will check basically, yeah, basically because he is telling every time basically he's telling. So let's check basically what is actually the issue. Basically. So they told that basically that lava data basically which is dumped from that basically we will generate one child that is actually future child basically which is going to generate. We will generate one child and one set of idea of that particular child with the help of the power company. In that basically power company basically they can't use the power company because satellite group has not passed the power company a data. So we directly basically is going to access the particular land from satellite, and we basically are going to check this basically whether basically really basically is telling right or not basically. That Sunil Arnar basically generation ended by Mumbai people. That is Mumbai land. So they basically really started checking basically. In that basically they told that basically need to check your basically. So they basically started like this. Missile direction change, that change, this change, everything basically they changed it. Because they want to check basically. They want the idea basically which was supposed to come long before, long after basically. And this child basically was supposed to generate long after basically. But now basically we are launching that child, which was created by 1 lakh software company of Mumbai city. They can do basically this. But Earth planet basically people basically can't do this. Why? Because they don't have the data to take the power supply. If they will try to take the power data from that any of the power supply company or nuclear power company or missile company or basically the energy company, the entire land will get in trouble of world. Not only India land, but whole world will get in trouble because whole world power supply of land basically is connected with each other. So this is not the biggest chain basically. That's why they satellite group told that basically we basically will take that data what we required from satellite basically. In this basically first they tested missile was supposed to go there, but it went to that side basically. Missile was supposed to go downside, but it went upside basically. Missile was supposed to go left side, but it went to right side basically. From there basically they started. Then basically they told that basically we are taking that one child data, that is the lava data which is dumped inside that land basically, that is the lava data. So we are taking that basically, and whatever ideas basically are connected with that particular child basically, that also we are taking it because we are not passed the power data to the earth planet. If they will have that data, then only basically they will extract that data basically. That they basically directly told. So the satellite group directly basically taken that data basically. We want to check that basically. Really basically Sunil Nair generation is ended by Mumbai city or not. This is just taking as an example. Basically. Really basically my generation is not ended by Indian nationality. Just taking it as an example basically. So that everything should be clear basically. Mumbai city means what basically? Indian nationality only, na basically. So Indian nationality basically will end my generation basically. Why they will end? That is also a question basically. If they will end, so they have one person basically told that basically even basically the enemy group basically will not do this type of activity basically. That is the generation end basically. They also basically will not do this type of activity. So which group basically has done this activity? Who is that bastard basically who has done this activity from Mumbai? That they basically want to check. That they basically want to check. So that was basically very strange question, answer basically. They want to check basically. Really basically Sunil or Nair basically generation is basically ended or not basically. So this is basically one user story which is in the form of few stories basically, which is telling that basically that if satellite group basically want to do any type of verification basically, they can do easily. Why? Because they have the source of data. But they will never change the direction of this that basically. Why? Because they don't want to basically. Otherwise they will, if they want to do this basically, otherwise basically they will not end the world basically just in 1 or 2 minutes basically. That's very easy because they have the entire power supply of world basically. Just within 1 or 2 minutes basically they will end the world basically through power supply data basically. That is a satellite basically. That's very easy for them basically. But they will never do. Why? Because Earth planet is that type of planet basically where all facilities are available. And there is no other planet basically in this world who is having this type of facilities. Sorry, there is no other planet basically in universe basically that this type of facilities are available. So that's why basically they will not do until basically if they feel that basically some big issue basically will happen to universe. If they feel that, some big issue is basically going to happen to Earth from due to Earth planet, then they will finish within just 1 or 2 minutes basically. The world. And they will do that basically. I'm telling you basically. They will do that basically. Mark my word basically. If anybody want to basically write this, they can write that basically. That's why basically the mafia groups are there. They are always connected with each and every place basically. Whether is any basically wrong thing is happening or not, each and everything basically they keeps on watching basically. Because one small problem basically can convert to world end also. But that will basically not happen so soon basically, because there are lots of basically tasks are basically pending by the earth planet. So world will not end so soon. So whatever condition basically is going to match, that is 100% going to match. And whatever task basically is going to happen, that also basically is going to happen 100%. So world basically will not end basically. That is 100% sure basically. Mark my word basically. So here basically what is the topic basically? Here the topic basically connected to rich people. Then the Sunil Larnar basically generation ended. Then basically that 100 crore child basically lava data and and missile direction, which is going to take the data from that lava data. So is this everything basically connected or basically not? Then one person told that in this world basically each and every people basically are connected with the rich people only basically, because money basically are given by rich people. So this 100 crore basically child is going to get birth, that is also connected with the rich people. Each and everything basically is connected. Each and everything basically is chained basically. So one of the person told that when basically the when in earth land basically this type of activity will happen. For example, India basically launched one missile from Brahmo missile basically from Odisha. That was supposed to go this side, but it went to that side basically. It went to that side basically. So when this type of activity basically is going to happen, and what is that date basically? That one of the person basically asked the question basically. And in this basically, the Delhi army group also basically got activated. So Delhi also earthquake came basically. So see the connection basically, see basically how the chain basically are connected. So one of the person told that suddenly basically some earthquake basically came in this world basically. So is this connected with this entire thing basically just now basically I discussed? Then that's 100% correct basically. Because each and every people basically each and every department basically are connected with the rich people basically. So there are 900 crore people, they are connected with set of rich people basically. If anything basically is happening wrong basically with that person basically, then rich people basically are responsible, because they have the money na basically, they have the money power. That's why basically, if they don't have the money power, if that person basically is individual basically, he basically can get money from any of the company without any rich people reference, then that is different thing basically. So here the topic is what? Lava data, 100 crore birth, the rich person basically that child, which basically some disease basically connected, due to that disease basically the repairing was not happened, doctor told that operation will happen, they basically can't afford the operation, they basically finished that area only. Like these few people told that basically government basically will what do basically to finish that area, because government is the government basically. So which basically equipment basically they will use here, they will use war data, they will use earthquake data, because earthquake data if they will use then basically the whole world will get effect. That, and the rich person basically is not connected with the whole world, he's rich person of India basically, he's not rich person of America, he's not rich person of Europe. So Europe basically people basically can't suffer, Europe people basically can't suffer. That was Infosys basically. So earthquake basically will happen 100%, earthquake will happen basically, I'm telling you basically. So one of the person told that each and every basically people in this world basically are connected with the rich people. So why this kind of management basically created by universe group, or basically you can say world creator, why they created this type of idea basically, you can say why they basically created this type of idea. So that basically we are going to discuss in next topic and next session and next video.